So we're ready to rock. You're Lord MacGuffin and his son. I don't know whether there was any need here to look at your relatives in Elgin, or whether there was a sense of it's all in the script. I know what we're doing here.
Oh no! It was definitely young MacGuffin. They wanted him to have this incomprehensible accent, and they didn't know what they wanted really. They asked me, and I said, well, I could make something up, or I could do. There's a dialect from my hometown in the northeast of Scotland, in Murray, called the Doric, which is a very strong local dialect that's kind of connected to Norway and all those kind of sounds, and it's very specific to that area of Scotland. And most people in the rest of Scotland can't understand what the hell we're talking about when we get going on the Doric. So, and I did a bit for them, and they were like, we don't understand what you're saying. I was like, yeah, exactly. And they said, it's perfect, do that. So I managed to squeeze my own dialect into a Hollywood film, which I feel like I see as a personal triumph. I think it must be a first that the Dorics appeared in a movie.
I was thinking for you with a movie like this, where it makes a beautiful job of showing Scotland, and and this seems to be kind of the stereotypes aren't. You're not laughing at any kind of aspect of Scotland. It is actually quite beautiful, and the characters are quite funny. Was there any concern on your part, being Scottish, that this is going to represent in some way to the rest of the world what our country is?
I think initially you do worry about that when you think, oh, is it going to get Hollywoodized and sort of minimized, and but then I've watched every Pixar film since they've started coming out with the films, and every time they make a movie, it's always incredibly well thought out and incredibly entertaining and heartfelt, and there's a truth that they always seem to find in their movies. So I knew it would be fine, and then meeting the team, and seeing how passionate they are about Scotland. It's kind of a love letter to Scotland, really. It's kind of all the good bits of Scotland in a movie without all the rubbish bits.
It's a shame that I didn't go for Ireland, because it's a much better country.
Exactly.
People and better history. And, yeah, much more mystical.
But you don't have kilts.
And you would have got Enya and Bono and everybody involved. It would have been great. It is great to have something like Pixar on anyone's TV, and I'm guessing part of the attraction, though, was that when it came to 12-year-old Joseph and 10-year-old Iona, suddenly they've got a movie that they can absolutely and utterly embrace.
I mean, they came up to the studio with me on one of the sessions. They got to walk around Pixar studios and see where Buzz Lightyear was drawn, and then the brilliant part for me was Catherine, our producer, said, "Look, we've got a surprise for you. Lord MacGuffin in the movie has to ride a horse, and we've got these 15 different designs of horses." And they showed the kids them. Said, "You get to pick which horse your daddy's character rides in the movie." So they can't wait to come and see the film, just to see their horse that they picked out, in the finished films.
I know that you first came to notice to a lot of the public anyway with 1996 Small Faces, followed swiftly by Trainspotting. I don't know, given that it's such a hard life as an actor, just the ups and downs and the uncertainties and all that, do you ever sort of think, I should have really stuck with the engineering?
Yeah.
Has it always been a good life?
It's always been a good life. There was a few lean years, and there will be again, I'm sure, but, touch wood, things are okay now. But yeah, it's not been an easy road. It's not an easy road to be an actor. But I love it, and I've always loved it, and I knew that if I didn't follow it, I would always regret it. It's a kind of similar thing to what Merida's going through in the movie. It's like, I knew in my heart as from a child what it was I needed to do, and everybody else around me was saying, you're crazy, you can't do that, but you have to kind of follow your heart sometimes, in the same way that Merida does, I guess.
Two very quick ones. I know that playing Dr. Owen Hunt in Grey's Anatomy would bring a certain new kind of fame, because that sort of TV fame, everyone sees you every week and they follow you and they're dedicated. I mean, has that been an odd shift, or obviously a good shift, but has it been different? You live in Los Angeles, I'm sure now you're recognised.
It's quite weird. I was just saying it the other night. It doesn't happen overnight, but just gradually over time, you realise that you're doing your shopping in Trader Joe's and in Sainsbury's, and people are like going, "That's that guy," and so it's a bit weird because I'm not used to it, but I'm getting more used to it. But it's usually all positive, There's sometimes people get upset with your character because those characters become very real for people. So if your character's doing something that people don't like, then you hear about it, in the cold food in the cold cuts line when you're waiting for your cheeses and your deli food. You start to hear what people really think about what your character's doing.
I think my time's up. I shouldn't squeeze another one in. I'll get you the next time with the next one. I had one last. Lovely to talk to you, man. Yeah, well done.